please subscribe, hit that like button, and as always, leave a comment, and thank you for enjoying the video.
Shot to right, slicing toward the pesky pole, down the line, and it's going to be out of here! Line down the right field line toward the pesky pole, leaping up, and that ball is gone! That's a home run! A lot of our Nesson team as well. High fly down the right field line, headed toward the pesky pole, that one tucked in, and that ball is going to be against the wall, and into second base. Number retired, and now Rafael Devers trying to retire that baseball inside a pesky pole.
Welcome to another episode of the Pesky Podcast. This is episode 98. I am your host, the Ritt. With me, like always, is the OG George Sutherland, brought to you by Boston Sports Entertainment Network. And we are bringing it back to the person who we might not be able to go exact same podcast because she was able to predict the last time we played Atlanta a little too well. But we brought her back. Leah, what's going on? How are you doing?
Hey, we're doing pretty good. Again, out on West Coast, Braves fans in the South got a win last night after we were just about to sell the team shirts ourselves. There's nothing like catastrophizing with May baseball, but we're doing good. Gonna pick it back up.
Well, you can't sit there and say too much when you're playing 500 ball like we are. We take 3 steps forward and we take 3 steps back really quick. Yeah. George, what's been going on with you, man? How you doing?
Doing well. Just scratching my head. Seems every other day, and said, "How do we get here?" But not totally unexpected, given the circumstances. But we're holding our own and treading water, and right now that's actually a positive. So
yeah, and it's kind of quite funny how we our boys over at Our Bleeping City, you ready for a great show? What's going on, Mikey Two Guns? He was on our Celtics podcast last night, so a quick shout out to him. But it seems to me, George, we might be playing 500 ball, but at least it looks like the boys are having fun for the majority of it doing it. And I know we're going to go in depth with it, but man, the interviews and the big smiles of Ceddanne Raphael, the human highlight reel, those catches, he's averaging, 1 a game now, but man, he is having a blast out there in center field.
Oh, he's a treat to watch. Just waiting to hope that you see another one. And, he usually delivers, like I said, at least 1 a night. And he is a spectacular fielder. And he's a lot like Raffy. He's got a smile on his face. He just loves to play the game. And, it is fun to watch him. He's just, I think, goes out there and says, yeah, no, there's no ball I can't get to. And he's probably right.
So Leah, last time we played, you were pretty spot on with almost every pick you did. But this is going to be a little bit different team that we played against slightly because, and George and I, we touched base on it early last week. Ronald Acuna Jr., you guys are missing him. So
first it was Strider, and then it was Acuna, and then it's been somebody just rotating on the IL from the bullpen, and it's like, when's it going to stop? We pretty much came apart after that, especially with it being an ACL on the opposite knee. And it's just like, dude, the kid is just really accident prone because he goes out there and pushes so hard, and you win that world record of 70 stolen bases, and you're not gonna keep trying and pushing. And I think that playing in the Venezuelan League during the off season probably didn't really help much, because Lord knows how hard he was going out there. he hasn't looked typical Ronnie, I don't think, since the season started. It took a long time for him to heat up and just dropping lots of balls. But all of the Braves, the fielding has been subpar. I just feel like things are getting out there and not being caught that really we shouldn't have problems catching. We've got Duvall that we moved over into right to take Ronnie's place. And that's just a seamless move for us because, he's been part of the team, been part of your team, good guy, can put him kind of anywhere. And also just a really good fit with everything that's going on. He's got a really good, calm, level head and a nice presence. So, doing some shifting with that, we've got Matt Olson starting to pick up a little bit on first. We were worried about that too. We were like, is it the eyes? Is it what are we doing? And, yes, we're over 500, but we're used to playing better, I think, by this point. So, we'd have some terrible losses and then scrape it back with one decent win, feel okay, and then go have some terrible losses again, which is baseball. It's what we all are used to. It's what we expect. But we've just had some players being just real spotty that we know have the potential to produce, and they're not. So,
yeah. A quick shout out. Aaron, we was just talking about Ceddanne Rafaela. We're going to be talking about him even more when we go in depth with our outfield. But let's sit there and talk about, Leah, you sit there and said about Ozuna and how dominant he was going to be.
I wasn't lying, huh?
No. No, you wasn't.
That one straight away.
So, but this time, when you guys are facing the Red Sox, we have got a guy on our side that his bat has been pure fire with Rafael Devers. Yes. Finally, he did have 6 games in a row with 6 home runs, took an off day. It seems to me since DC has traded him in our fantasy baseball league to me, which, I thank him every day for that. He's just been bullet and monsters, home runs. And then also he must have been getting a couple extra scoops of ice cream because he has had 2 triples now, in the matter of a couple of days. George, well, what are we seeing differently from, Rafi Devers, that could possibly match the power of Ozuna over there with the Braves?
He's very relaxed right now. And I think what's the term I used the last time we talked about this? Left field is his friend. When he goes oppo, it's like the sky's the limit. And that triple last week that he hit against Baltimore, they had him pulled to right, and he just shot it to left field. And when he took about 10 feet from second base, he goes, "Nope, I'm going to third," and he just took off. We all worry about his hamstrings, but he just went. He's relaxed at the plate. I think he finally feels well. He obviously felt well during the homer streak, but home runs are one thing, but when he starts putting extra base hits in substance and in clumps like he is, he's totally on fire, and that's what we're seeing right now. And he's backing it up in the field. I mean, he made a couple of great plays yesterday. And it's like, okay, you're totally locked in, and he looks it. So
and get that boy going with a cycle somewhere with all those triples, man. That's
he's got the ability to do it. And, he's cranking out. He's had a couple of 3-hit nights, and the extra base hits. That's his key. Not only does the ball leave the yard, but throwing doubles and triples, he's got the capability of putting those down as well. So he's on fire.
That's excellent.
So and George, that play he made yesterday to glove side over at third when he slid and then went to the one knee and and got it over to the first base. I was looking and I was like, man, I'm like, that's the Devers we need out there in the field. Like, that was excellent. He did. So
Devers, if you can say where his struggles are, it's always to his left. All right. He makes the play to his right. He made one the other night. Took it up the line, set his feet, did a one hop at a first base, and got the runner. You know, we talked about at the beginning of the season how Story made a difference because Story's range allowed him not to have to range as far to the left as he usually does. And, you know, he's comfortable with his game right now. And that's really all you can ask for. And the defensive uptick is not just confined to him. In general, the team's defense has gotten better. It's still, you know, based upon the early results, still is kind of awful. But of late, they've been playing reasonably well.
Yeah.
So let's sit there and go right into the game one matchup. Of course, yet again, it's a 2-game series that we absolutely love so much here. But going out Tuesday night at 7:10, you guys are throwing out Max Fried, and we're throwing out Cutter Crawford.
Yeah.
So
it's Fried, by the way.
Yeah.
It's Fried because he's throwing that heat with the ball.
Yes.
And, you know, this is going to be the game that I think of the 2-game series that we're going to have problems with because of who you're throwing out pitching. But
we're not throwing Chris Sale at you this time, though. So there's that.
Yes. And you guys, and you're not going to be able to see Vaughn Grissom either because he went on the IL stint.
Yeah, and that's a bummer. We enjoyed that for sure. But yeah, there's a bunch of people you guys won't be seeing either. I mean, a lot of it's bullpen stuff, and obviously the biggest one being Ronnie. But yeah, Fried has been pitching really well. He's kind of gotten what we call like that Mad Max focus back. He's done a couple full games, and I was really glad. He's one that when he's doing well, just leave him in. It's great for morale of the team, great for his mental health, I'm sure. But he's also just been producing really well. So, yeah, we're thankful for that one for sure. And the next day, well, we'll talk about the next day when you're ready.
Yeah. Well, you know, you're going up against my boy Cutter Crawford, whose record does not look nowhere near what he's been pitching. 2-4 record. It should be the other way around. He should be 4-2. You know, 3.29 ERA, George. Well, what is the difference? Like, where have we seen him change now? Where him and Halk were neck and neck with almost identical stats, and now we're seeing him actually make batters actually getting more hard contact on him and put the ball in play.
I don't think his breaking stuff is moving quite the way it did before, and he's leaving that fastball, you know, in a hittable area. You can see he's relying on it more. I want to say I took a look at the stats, and he's gone up in terms of the use of the fastball and not so much the breaking stuff. I should have done that check before we came out and talked to him, but that's really for him, he needs to be able to move the ball east-west. So, you know, when he doesn't do it, he gets in trouble because they can sit on a fastball and drive it someplace. And particularly a team like the Braves will have absolutely no trouble doing that.
Yeah, unless the balls are dead. Just kidding.
You're still on that parade, huh?
We're still on that parade. That parade is not going to have an ending point, I'm afraid. And I even said what you said the other day of like, it's not warm. Just wait till it warms up. They'll be, but people are, implosion and meltdown and no fair. And
yeah, you know, there has been zero talk about that up this way. None.
Well, lucky for you. because it seems like that's all we can talk about lately. I think people are just really grasping at reasons. And
they're upset. They're upset the Phillies are on fire, and I mean, go figure.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's sit there and ease into game 2, and please correct me if I'm wrong. Schwellenbach,
and we all decided on his day that we would call him Schwelly. So he's Schwelly to us, Schwellenbach. And it was funny because he got called up and started driving from Mississippi to it was either Rome or Gwinnett. And then halfway through the drive, he called his fiance and he's like, "No, I'm going to the Braves. I'm going to the Braves." So literally he found out that day. His parents flew in that day. And he did pretty well for a first outing. I think he went 4 innings, I want to say.
4 innings. He had 5 Ks.
Yep.
Yeah.
5.4 ERA, but he looks new. He looks young, but I think he has a lot of potential. From what the other guys have said, he's a good fit in the clubhouse. Really happy to be there, of course. So we're really looking forward to seeing more of him. Of course, it has to be against Pivetta, who I love. So we'll see.
Yeah, George is a huge Pitbull Pivetta fan up there,
Yes,
and once again, like these, if you look at the Red Sox starters win-loss record, it is absolutely nowhere near to what they've been pitching. Am I correct there, George?
Oh yeah, Pivetta, the previous 2 starts to the last one, he wasn't on his game, but the last one, he looked like the Pivetta of old, and then some. Where when he's in his zone, there's no better competitor on the planet. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, he tied the Rockets record with striking out 8 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
That's no small accomplishment.
And he's improved so much from when he was on the Phillies. It's just been so fun to watch him have a new place to thrive and show his stuff. And
yeah, and he's the sweeper's done it for him. He's always he always had the fastball and he could spot it where he wanted it, up or down on the strike zone. But now he's got something that crosses the plate and can really mess up a batter. And when he found that mid last season, that's what got him back into the rotation in Boston. And he's a competitor like no other. He's got when he's locked in.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, that's when I was looking at the matchups. I was like, oh, snap. But because I'm a Pivetta fan, I'm happy for him. And, like I said, Braves fans don't have any ill will towards Red Sox fans. And, we'd like to see them do well too. But yeah, Pivetta against Schwelly, I don't know. I think you guys are going to have no problem with that one. And we'll probably be bringing multiple arms.
We'd like that.
But we'll see.
Well, wasn't Pivetta's first start back last time against the Braves when he pitched against Sale?
Yes, I believe it was.
Yeah, so you guys already faced them once this season, and went definitely in your guys' favor with that one because Sale was lights out.
Yeah,
with that, and I want to touch base with about Chris Sale a little bit. Are Braves fans like Red Sox fans when as soon as a pitcher or a player has one bad outing, they're so negative overall about them?
I mean, it definitely can happen. I see a lot more patience and tolerance with what we have right now. I mean, like we've got Charlie Morton and he's like the grandfather dad of all of them. And sure, he has great, amazing outings and not so great outings. I think people are pretty patient with him just because of who he is, what he's capable of, what he's done for us. I'm trying to think, like, it seems to me like when we've had bad outings, there hasn't been so much of the, like, get him out of there, bring up so-and-so from Gwinnett. It could have been this, it could have been that. Definitely with our veterans, we're more patient. Not as much get him out of here stuff. I feel like we've been a little bit more patient with pitching, less so with relief pitchers, especially ones we've had a long time. AJ Menner got put out in the 9th inning a couple times. He is not a 9th inning pitcher whatsoever, and we're just like, no, Minter in the 9th, please. Can we just not do this? But I think we're pretty patient with it. Getting Sale was a huge pickup. And because as soon as we lost Strider, I mean, that's when people started to crumble for sure. I feel like they've had some good team meetings. The pitchers have done well, at least starting off. We haven't had any horrible implosions, but just finishing off the game, getting the right person in there to finish off the game, that's another story. Nobody, I don't think that we really want to get rid of. People have been a little bit frustrated with Bryce Elder, who has kind of been hot and cold and now in Gwinnett. So at any rate.
Well, we've got a closer. It's on the trade market. We'll be more than willing to give up to you guys.
And you're most familiar with him too. So there you go.
You guys get Kenley Jansen.
Oh my God, that's right.
Well, we
love Kenley. I don't know why I always forget about that he went over there. It's like I feel like he did some hopping right after the Braves. How has he been doing there? I haven't even looked. I've always liked him for personality, and he did some great things. He did some not so great things, but he got the job done.
He hasn't been doing okay since they announced that he was on the trade market. He's been doing pretty well because he knows that he's, on the trade market and he wants to get that value for him. It's 50-50 with him. Like, watching him pitch, his routine.
Mm-hmm.
A base runner, if he has any speed whatsoever, can get his timing down.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. So he can steal base because Kenley's not gonna throw you out.
No.
Absolutely not. So if you can get a single, you can easily turn that into a double if you by getting on second, because Kenley will not and a flashback from when he was in the Dodgers when he had somebody on second base and he didn't feel comfortable. He balked on purpose and told him to get the hell over on third because he didn't like the runner behind him, and then he went and struck out the batter. So he has his great moments, and then he has his not so great moments. But he's a closer, nonetheless. So
he wants to pitch and know that he's definitely in a pennant race.
Mm-hmm.
And for right now with Boston, like I said, they're hanging around the edges of the wild card. And right now, if the season ended today, they'd be out by about 3.5 games or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But he wants to be with a better competitive team. And he says all the right things in public. But we talked the last show. Ritt and I talked about this. He's got to be a royal pain in Alex Cora's behind in the clubhouse. He's probably, I bet you, even when he's popping off, he's basically trying to shoot his way out of town behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And like yesterday,
ways to do that.
And he's not some young kid either. He's been around the league for a long time. Go to the front office and say, look, love you guys, but I need something more. Any general manager is going to go, yeah, okay, fine. Respect you for doing that. But he's been a pain in the butt since spring training. So
Yes, and you can't run on. I mean, people can run on him constantly. I mean,
yes.
the little hip twist is all. It's like the dead giveaway of, oh, here, let me go.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I could run on him. That's saying something. So,
George, I'm going to start a GoFundMe so we can watch that.
Oh, I'd pay money to see that.
I'd pay money to see it too, George. I would.
You have no idea.
But so let's sit there and talk about your infield. Your infield pretty much is consistently the same. Like you said, and George, we got our man Jimmy Rizzo. He was laughing about the comment, and he's volunteering for him second, right behind you. So, but let's sit there and let's do this. Let's see how many podcasters can steal on Kenley Jansen. Fans. Let's start a whole charity event.
Open competition. That'd be brilliant. We'd have a
makes me want to put up a Twitter poll. Maybe I'll do that today and then get back to you on it.
Yeah. Do you think you could steal second on Kenley Jansen? Yes or no? So
bonus points. Do we want him back?
Yeah. Well, there you go. There's the question of the day. But your infield is pretty much the same players, but is there any different hot cold streaks going on there for you?
We're a little frustrated with the lineup changes. I feel like Snit's been kind of plucking and placing and seeing who's doing well where. I mean, I honestly can't remember how long Ozuna's hit streak is, but speaking of infielders, Ozzy Albies has really been doing well. Really been making some good plays, hitting both from the right and the left and able to handle both well. And it seems like something's kind of clicked with him. He's doing better. And he's, a great teammate to so many people. People worried about, Ronnie and Ozzy being best friends, and it's hard to not play together. But he's really stepped it up. So, Matt Olson's been showing improvement. At first, we've just had all kinds of crazy balls and situations and what looks to be pirouettes, trying to catch the balls out in the outfield and missing them. And all that is fine if you can have an offense to boost you up, but we've been struggling a little. And of course, we're over 500. We really don't have any right to complain, but like when you've done so well for so many years, you get used to it. Austin is still doing fine at third. He had an oblique strain that didn't end him up on the IL. It was kind of a mystery to all of us. And we had Zach Short come in for a bit. But Riley seems like he's doing well, not hitting quite as well as I'd like him to. I mean, again, still our number one hitter is Ozuna. Seems like every dang game he makes contact. Arcia has been, he does well at shortstop. He's made some not so good plays of late, but he's batting okay. He keeps the morale up in the clubhouse for sure. But I feel like all of us just kind of need to tighten up a bit. And we've talked about, how much of an effect is losing Washington and EY going over to the Angels. Because we've seen a lot of, Wash would have had him run on that from being the third base coach. And he had such a special relationship with all of our players that we're wondering if we're still kind of settling into that. Losing both first and second base. My brain just escaped. Losing both Wash and EY at the same time was very difficult for us. We often have had discussions of like, okay, who's going to lead that big fat team meeting, the big come to Jesus meeting that needs to happen when we're losing to people like the A's. And, you know, Ozuna's name gets thrown out, Matt Olson, Travis d'Arnaud, you know, just older, more calm seasoned guys. And we're hoping that they get it figured out.
Yeah. Well, first up, the Kenley's poll is up. So for 24 hours, we're going to see what percentage of fans think they can steal second base on Kenley Jansen.
I'll do it as soon as we're done here.
So
we can compare notes.
But George, you know, we don't sit there and have Grissom now. Devers is playing absolutely phenomenal. We've been switching out Cedon Rafaela with, you know, Hamilton, and first base. Now we go from Dominic to, you know, bringing back Throbby D, you know, up there. So we have a different look in our infield, but most of the time it's the same results. So George, is there anything you want to bring and talk about a little bit?
I think that Hamilton has kind of stepped it up a little bit. He's very relaxed at the plate now. He feels as though he belongs. He's played both sides of the bag fairly well. Plays really good second base because that's his natural position. But I think he's relaxed a bit at shortstop. I think he was pressing in the beginning of the year. They brought Valdez back up, you know, to play infield and DH, and they've got they just had to put brought Westbrook back up. So brought up, excuse me. So, you know, the infield's been a revolving door. The good news is that the Red Sox are now only the third worst team in terms of errors in MLB, with you know, the Athletics in this at the bottom and the Marlins just a little bit behind them. So, you know, the defense has improved a bit. Dominic Smith's been a good fill-in at first base, so that's good. Bringing Dahlbeck back, we'll see. I'm of the opinion, I think as you are, Ritt, that if he could wear a Woo Sox T-shirt underneath or jersey underneath his MLB jersey and make him believe he's actually in Worcester, he could probably start launching home runs tomorrow. It's like that 30-mile the 30-mile drive from Worcester to Boston. Something happens to him. You know, I think when he goes through the Western Tolls, you know, on the Mass Pike, I think something happens to him on his way back. There's the kitty.
There's the kitten. Say hi.
There we are.
Yeah.
So it's a mystery, and if somebody can get inside Dahlbeck's head and square it away, the Red Sox fans everywhere will be eternally grateful.
Well, you know, you brought up David Hamilton. For the month of May, these are stats that Ed Hand wrote. For the month of May, Hamilton hit 3 doubles, a triple, a homer, 4 RBIs, scored 9 runs, stole 7 bags, and was only caught once. You know, it's for May, he had a great. He was batting .333, and it's absolutely amazing what he's done. Because he's raised his batting average from 211 to 281. You know, with his hot streak in May. So he's absolutely 100% thinks that, you know, taking advantage of the playing time he's getting up there overall. And, you know, it's great. And then, you know, we've got Connor Wong too. And did you sit there and see the play, George, last night at the plate? Fingertips with Reese McGuire. It just shows you, if, like, you can't tell me that ball wasn't thrown any better, but just because he had to go up for the ball that little bit to bring it back down, fingertips underneath at home plate. And Celeste, our photographer for BSEN. Got an amazing pic. If you got a chance, George, check that picture out. It was absolutely amazing. I'll sit there. I'll tag you in it then, Leah, okay. So you can see it. But no, it's just that was an amazing play at the plate, overall. But outfield, Leah, you sit there and were talking earlier how you guys switched up from losing Ronald Acuna Jr. Mm-hmm. What's going on, Beast? Dennis, man, from Germany, what's going on? How you doing? Sit there and we got to get you some Red Sox gear to go with your Pats Germany. Can't wait to see the new podcast coming out.
Yeah. So in the outfield, we've got Adam Duvall doing right, Michael Harris the second in center, and then Jared Kelenic in left. And Jared Kelenic has been great. He has done some amazing fielding of balls that, we're all sure were going to go foul, and I'll be damned if he didn't reach out and grab them. But he's really fast. In my opinion, he almost gives Ronnie a run for his money with his speed when he's on base. But he's been a great pickup for us and really seems to be enjoying the team. Players are enjoying him. He's really getting into it. And he's just showing progress every day, which is great.
Yeah. And I got to say, our outfield is our strong suit right now. Wilyer Abreu is day-to-day right now off of a fluke. It looked like he just rolled his ankle, taking a step in the dugout there. But we have Rep Snyder, and I went on record, apologizing because I thought Rep Snyder didn't belong on the team, and he's absolutely positively shown that he has. So, George, going from Duran to Rafaela to Rep Snyder, what's it look like for us out in the outfield, which is our absolute strong suit?
Yeah, I mean, defensively, they're a very good unit. Abreu has been solid all the way along. He'll make plays that you go, wow. And then if you're sleeping on the base pass, like you're not hustling, he'll throw you out. Or if you kind of drifted too far off, you try to stretch a single into a double. The man has a laser cannon for an arm. Rafaela, we talked about that. The kid just goes out of nowhere on a full gallop and can catch up to anything. I swear, any ball that he thinks is hitting the outfield, that's what he feels is his range. He feels like that ball's mine, and that's what you need in a center fielder. Duran's playing a better defensive outfield than he has at any time in his career. And as I think I said this the last time, Ritt, Rob Refsnyder is your fourth outfielder is a nice problem to have. And I think a lot of managers would love to have him as a fourth outfielder. Can play all three positions, play them well. Noted as a left-handed pitching killer, he started to do, perform the same nastiness to right-handers. So he's a threat, can run a little bit. I think this is like his fifth season with his sixth club, but this is like entering his third season with the Red Sox or parts thereof. He has, he's a young veteran, and it's good because he's got two young guys around him, and three really with Rafaela. He provides that steadiness, and he's a pretty good pinch hitter to boot. So he's a very nice problem to have coming off the bench. I've been high on him, because I think he's one of those guys on the bench you don't know how to rate them until you need them, and he always comes up big for you. So,
love a good utility guy for sure.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping that Wilyer Abreu, because he's off to a great start of the season. I really, really hope that he doesn't need an IL stint just because of he's just doing absolutely amazing for us. Top 3 in AL Rookie of the Year, league's leading stats. And then all of a sudden we called up Valdez, and he's a second baseman, and he went 2 home runs, 3 RBIs in his first game back in the big leagues. That was absolutely amazing.
Chris, this is his redemption tour. Because he had such an awful start to the beginning of the year, and to come back, and that's the second game back, he, crushes 2 home runs and a double.
Gotta love.
I'm back. Good. There you go. Yeah, and he wants to stick too.
Mm-hmm.
But defense is never going to be his calling card. He just has to learn how to make the simple plays.
Yeah. So. Let's sit there and ease into the bullpen, and Leah, I know that's your soft suit over there with your bullpen, but like we said, we can give you an easy Kenley Jansen, because right now, in the poll, we have 77% of people said right now that they can steal second base on Kenley Jansen. 77%, 13 votes so far.
Those numbers are pretty telling. I'm actually anxious to put it up myself and see what Braves people think of that, having had him too. We've got Raisel Iglesias that is like the great closer for us. What do people always say? If you come in and you see his fingers in the air, it's too late. But I mean, Snicker has been like experimenting, like I said, with like AJ Minter, putting him out in the 9th, getting some new kids, getting some kids back from the IL. We've been using Pierce Johnson quite a bit, a righty. Who else have we been? Jesse Chavez has been coming out and doing an inning or 2 for us and being really solid and clean, just like the old man that he is. We've had Aaron Bummer out for a few innings here and there, lefty, and he's been a little bit of a namesake of a bummer. It's been okay.
Yeah.
Been okay. We had Ray Kerr come out to pitch and to start the other night, just to give our starters a break. And that was kind of just a crap show. And it seemed like a revolving door pretty quickly. So, it's like we've got some depth in the bullpen. We just need to keep them healthy and get them on the same page, and getting more strikeouts from them, not giving up these late inning runs. And because that's what kills you, it's like you think you're doing all right and then you're not. And it's the 9th inning and here we are. So, yeah, but I'm also catastrophizing because I'm a Braves fan. So
our bullpen is above average. I would say, I'll give them a B plus, B plus. Cam Boucher last night, first time all year so far that he actually was in trouble and got taken advantage of, George. So I'm kind of excited to see his next outing, to see how he bounces back and if he can bounce back, because that's what a mindset you got to be able to have coming back is, okay, you got rocked, let's forget about it and get on to the next one.
Right.
But George, what about the rest of the bullpen?
Well, the key 5 guys for us in the bullpen are Jansen, Weissert, Martin, Bernardino, and Slayton. Jansen we touched on a little bit. He's been up and down of late. He's doing better. Chris Martin, there's not the Chris Martin of last year. He's had a couple of good outings, had a couple of bad outings. Slayton's a Rule 5 pick. On the whole, has done fairly well for himself. He's come in. If he has a bad outing, he can shake it off and come back and have a good one. Weishart, who we picked up as part of the Verdugo trade, has had a very solid year. But the man of the year in the bullpen is Brendan Bernardino. He's a lefty. He bounced around a lot. He's 32 years old, sub 1 ERA. Mm-hmm. And he came in the other night, pitched 2 innings, and just was masterful. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter what you ask him for. He'll go out and do it. He's one of these guys that he's out to prove a point. The Red Sox left him off the opening day roster. I think he's going to chip in his shoulder for that. And I'm here to stay, and I'm going to show you why I have value to the team. The rest of the bullpen right now consists of Cam Boozer, who had a tough outing last time. Good story. Out of baseball, comes back and makes the major leagues. Chase Anderson, another veteran, that's kind of like your mop-up guy, and Brad Keller, who they recently added from the White Sox, who's done absolutely nothing since he came up here. I'm surprised he doesn't have whiplash with the amount of base hits they've rocketed off of him. But
look where he's coming from too.
What's that?
Look where he came from too. So
yeah. He's he's a placeholder. He's got he's got some service time. He has the ability to straighten it out. He just need an extended session in the Andrew Bailey Advanced Pitching Clinic to kind of straighten his game out. But as a group, the key 5 are doing a reasonably good job. Except that Kenley's going to want to do it more. And as Ritt pointed out, he's on the market. And wouldn't be surprised if he disappeared at the All-Star break. So,
personally, I would much rather get rid of him now than later, so you can find out who will be the next closer for you for the rest of the season. And another quick stat I'd love to throw out there with Bernardino. Bernardino has faced, I think it was 26 batters and hasn't given up a run yet. So that's, in the last 26 batters, that's absolutely amazing. The last outing he was in, came in with bases loaded and shut him down.
There's a .72 ERA and a .80 WHIP. I mean, what more can you ask for?
That's fabulous. Want to share?
Yeah.
Kidding.
So
no, he's us. We're not giving him away.
But let's sit there and go for the overall. Let's talk about the series. Leah, I don't want to ask you, Leah.
Yes, you do want to ask me, and it's okay if I win twice. It really is.
There you go.
We can still be friends. I promise.
Let's sit there and talk, Leah. Let's go for series MVP. We'll start there.
All right.
And who do you think the series MVP is going to be?
I hate to say that it's going to be Ozuna again, but the man cannot stop hitting. So it was either going to be that or Ozzy since he's getting hot, but I'm going to stick with Ozuna. Much to my dismay. It just is what it is.
Okay, and George, who you think in series MVP it will be?
I want to say Devers, but something tells me this could be a Rafaela series. Yeah, I think Rafaela's due for another, little spurt again. So I'm going to go with Sedan. Well,
I've already talked about him going up against Ozuna earlier. So, man, let's sit there and go with Devers. I'm going to sit there and say Devers is going to be the guy that picks the team up and, helps them get through this. So,
challenge accepted.
Let's sit there and go for, and it's been a while since we did this, George.
Totally Nasty.
The Totally Nasty Award. So we're going to bring this back right now just because Leah's here. Leah, who do you believe will be getting the Totally Nasty award?
You guys go first and let me think.
I already got mine, Bernardino.
Well, I'm going with Pivetta. I think we saw that the last game he had that spurt where he struck out 8 in a row. I think that he's in for another one of those nights where he's locked in. So I'm gonna go with my boy Pivetta.
See, that's the hard part. Is that it's like, of course, I want to go with Max Fried, but I really like Pivetta too, and I know that Pavetta's probably gonna eat our new guy for lunch. But yeah, I mean, Max Fried, if he has more solid pitching and if his curveball is looking good, that's probably who I'll go with. Although my heart does want to go with Pivetta too.
Well, if you want to go with Pivetta, we can let you because you're almost always right when it's the Braves Red Sox series.
All right, we'll just stick with Max Fried and no, Pivetta was a close second. How about
there
that?
You go.
Okay. Well, just a quick update. It is now 79% of the fans think they could steal on Kenley Jansen.
I can't wait to get my poll up there, sir.
So, let's go series. I'm gonna say we split it 1-1. We need at least one because after you guys and the White Sox, well, actually, technically, we need to win at least 4 games, in my opinion, between the Braves and the White Sox. Because after that, we're going down murderer's row. No pun intended. Facing the Yankees afterwards. So I'm gonna go 1-1. Leah, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking 1-1 too. I don't know if Schwelly and whatever combination we put up there with him is enough to get the job done. So I'm gonna go 1-1.
George?
Same. It's tough to bet against Max Fried. He's such a terrific pitcher. Maybe Crawford has a good game too, and it's a close one. And they get a pitcher's duel. I'll give Fried the edge on that one. So yeah, 1-1.
Okay. So, well, let's sit there, Leah. Let's sit there and go, George. What's our new segment? Around the Pole.
Around the pole.
Around the Pole. It's closing thoughts. This is the floor is yours. Tell everybody where they can sit there and listen to you talk at Atlanta Braves, and all that other good stuff.
Well, obviously, I'm really, really active on Twitter /X, and my handle is on there. L with 3 E's, 1 A, 5 H's. But also, I am a media caster on the PSF app. Pro Sports Fans, it's on the App Store. They have all of the major sports, all 30 MLB teams and groups that cast and stream during the games. So I do that several times a week. A lot of times during day games since I'm on the West Coast and everybody else is working. And they added some new cool things into the PSF app with some peer-to-peer contests and wagering. So you should definitely check that out. We've been having a lot of fun with that of, wagering against each other's favorite players or putting Matt Olson against Freddie Freeman just for kicks and seeing how it ends up. But that's been a lot of fun, and that's a fairly new feature to the app that's listed in there under duels. And if anybody had any questions about it, certainly just shoot me a DM and I'm happy to help with that.
Okay, fantastic. And that is actually how I found you to ask you to come on for the Braves content. So that's
win-win.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
So George, what about you around the pole?
Sure. Just a reminder that I do a weekly baseball column in Boston Sports Column, Sunday morning coffee thoughts. I have been dropping a little bit more extra stuff. I did today drop an article about MLB finally coming to grips with integrating the statistics from the Negro Leagues into the MLB database. Long overdue, undoubtedly a difficult decision, but it's the right thing to do to recognize some of these terrific players that the mainline fan didn't get a chance to see, and it's really a shame because some of these guys were fantastic. Josh Gibson, he would have been a star no matter where he played. And then you get some other people, that did make it, Buck O'Neill, things like that. I think it's important. I don't buy into the whole idea that it was done for show, because it is important. Recently I came back from a trip down south, and I had the terrific opportunity to see the Black Southern League Baseball Museum and Hall of Fame, and just the collection of artifacts there was terrific. And they had, like I said, the highlight of my time was standing in a batter's box and facing what would be a hologram of Satchel Paige throwing to you.
That's so cool.
Okay, that was one of the coolest things. And they got like 4 pictures you can see, and I'm like, yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah.
And to me, baseball has no colors, and it shouldn't. And it is particularly today when you have stars from all over the world competing. It's the right thing to do. And I kind of talked about it, at some length today. So that was my latest missive, my extra missive on top of my Sunday Boston centric sports stuff. But that's what I've been up to of late. So.
Well, George, maybe we can get a hologram with you standing at first base of Kenley Jansen, and you stealing second.
It would probably be the only way I'm guaranteed to beat him and throw to second base. But I can certainly dream.
George, I honestly think you might be able to get at least halfway before the ball.
Have you seen me run, Ritt? Have you seen me run? Okay.
I don't need to. Do you know how long his windup is?
Oh yeah. It takes about 6 months.
Yeah.
And Leah, your point, as soon as he does
right to the pitch clock.
Yeah. As soon as that hip twitches a little bit, there's 3 more seconds coming.
Yep.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's amazing he doesn't have hip problems. He'll probably have hip replacement 6 months after he retires.
I've thought that a lot. I was like, nobody's hit him stand up to that.
Yeah, that's absolutely got to hurt. But
yeah, my final thoughts are, around the poll is not really Red Sox related. It's more of, Celtics related. So the city of Boston is looking at the NBA Finals. Finally, a possibility of another championship coming to this great city. So, but after, whatever game it is, game 5, game 4, game 6, 7, doesn't matter. Then we got to concentrate all summer long. The boys of summer, Red Sox, and, just be more positive. Like, we were never supposed to compete this season. Never.
No.
But these guys are out there putting their bodies on the line every game. So Don Raphael, every time he dives, I get flashbacks to Trevor's story. And I just hope that he is able to, get up. He's back wearing that necklace that had cut his face in Baltimore when he went for that one dive. And I could say dive, and it could be, all
didn't
what.
Didn't it cut him when he went to make the throw, though? It backed up and caught him in the lip?
Maybe. All I know is he didn't wear that necklace for a couple
he took
games.
it right off.
So, but man, just be positive. Look at the future, and the future is bright with Boston sports. So, but guys, make sure you head on over to our YouTube, our Twitter, BSEN617. Check us out, subscribe, follow us. Head on over to our store to get some merchandise, BSEN617.square.site. We've got out our latest and greatest Jonathan Papelbon combination with the Hulkamania Tanner Houck shirts. We've got, just the Papelbon shirt, the Cinco Ocho. We'll be releasing by his next start version 2 of the Hulkamania shirt. Man, we've got a whole bunch of merchandise that's going on there, from our new stuff for Bruins fans, for the great Kyrie Irving. The FU Irving shirts are out there for you to get. So, but make sure it's downloaded on every Spotify, Apple, iTunes, and iHeartRadio. So, but for George, for Leah, and for myself, thanks for stopping by the Pesky Podcast.
Thanks for having me, guys.